When it was established only a couple of weeks ago, Corbyn and Sultana's party looked like a real contender. It framed itself as a left-wing alternative to challenge the Labour government, a vehicle for those who thought the government wasn't doing enough on Gaza, or who believed in nationalisation and wealth redistribution. This looked like a popular proposition. Even when it was still in the works, polls put the new Corbyn-Sultana party at between 10 and 15% of the vote, and an Ipsos poll found that as many as 1 in 3 Labour voters were considering supporting the new party. However, following numerous ideological divisions within the party and highly publicised spats between the co-leaders, the party looks like it's already fallen apart, and it's becoming harder and harder to see how they come back from it. So in this video, we're going to have a look at Corbyn and Sultana's new party, how it descended into chaos, and whether it can ultimately recover. Never miss an episode and always feel in the loop by subscribing and ringing the bell. So, the first thing to say is that Corbyn and Sultana's party didn't get off to the best start. On the 3rd of July, Sultana, a former Labour MP who had the whip suspended when she voted against the 2-child benefit cap in July of last year, officially announced the launch of a new party, explaining that she would co-lead it with the former Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn. She explained that Westminster is broken, that a billionaire-backed grifter is leading the polls, and that the government is an active participant in genocide. However, she didn't explain any further details about the party, including the name, leadership structure, or candidate selection. For his part, it seemed that Corbyn was somewhat blindsided by the announcement. While he said that the democratic foundations of a new kind of political party will soon take shape, he didn't explicitly say that he'd agreed to co-lead it, and The Guardian even reported that Corbyn was frustrated by the announcement. Nonetheless, after a bit of chaos, the party looked like it was getting its act together. Corbyn and Sultana joined forces with 4 pro-Gaza independents and came up with a provisional name for the party: Your Party. On the 24th of July, Corbyn and Sultana launched a website where people could sign up to their mailing list and find information on their inaugural conference. Over 600,000 people apparently signed up in under a week, and later that month, a number of Labour councillors defected to join the new party. However, in the past week or two, Your Party has suffered a number of crises that threaten to effectively end the party before it even formally exists. The first is an ideological disagreement between the pro-Gaza independents and Zarah Sultana. Now, there is a fair amount of agreement here. Aside from their pro-Gaza stance, they all appear to be generally economically left-wing, and all have opposed the 2-child benefit cap, as well as supporting reinstating the winter fuel payment. However, the pro-Gaza independents are generally more socially and economically conservative. Shaukat Adam, for instance, has suggested that the party shouldn't be anti-wealth or alienate landlords. Ayub Khan called for the army to break up the Birmingham bin strike. Adnan Hussein voted against decriminalisation of abortion and posted on X that trans women are not biologically women, hence trans women, and that women's rights and safe spaces should not be encroached upon. This didn't go down well with Sultana, who told the New Statesman early last week that the new party would be a, quote, progressive socialist party, and that anyone who feels that they can't subscribe to these principles, then Your Party might not be for them. This was then followed by the public falling out between Sultana and Corbyn. This kicked off last Thursday when the party sent out an email to all of those on the mailing list, asking them to officially sign up to the party at a cost of either £5 a month or £55 a year. At 11 a.m, Sultana wrote her first post on X announcing that memberships had launched and encouraging people to sign up. Over the next few hours, Sultana posted numerous times to X, celebrating milestones being hit and encouraging people to sign up. Notably though, Corbyn didn't join in, and at 2:07 p.m. released a statement on his account claiming that the email being sent out to members was unauthorised, should be ignored, and all direct debits cancelled. The letter was then signed by all members of the party except Zarah Sultana, with Corbyn adding that he would seek legal advice. A mere 37 minutes later, Sultana released a lengthy statement herself, claiming that she wants to safeguard the grassroots involvement that is essential to building this party, and that she'd been subjected to a sexist boys' club. She also named Corinne Murphy, a Corbyn ally, and claimed that she'd been trying to take sole financial control of the members' money. Later in the day, the Your Party X account posted a lengthy response, claiming that a false membership system had been unilaterally launched and that the Information Commissioner had been contacted. They rejected many of Sultana's claims, and added that neither Murphy nor any other MPs in the party had had access to any funds at any stage. Sultana then, in a later post, claimed that there were baseless attacks being made against her, and that she'd been in contact with specialist defamation lawyers. So, what happens next? Well, there's already an effort underway to bring the party back together. On Sunday, Sultana claimed that she will not be pursuing legal action despite the baseless and unsubstantiated claims against her, and that she has nothing but respect for Jeremy Corbyn. She ended this post by claiming that the stakes are too high for failure to be an option, and that the party conference will go ahead as planned. However, even if Corbyn and Sultana do reconcile, it might be too little too late. The saga has highlighted some deep-seated communication problems between the leaders, given the fact that none of this could be settled behind closed doors. It also exposed a power struggle and some pretty irreconcilable ideological differences within the party. What makes all of this even harder is the election of Zach Polanski, a self-described eco-populist, as leader of the Greens. His style of politics is similar to Corbyn and Sultana's, and his leadership appears to be going well, with the Greens slowly ticking up in the polls. Many of those who intended to sign up to the Corbyn-Sultana party will now be left asking themselves what the point is when they could just join the Greens. All in all, it seems like the Corbyn-Sultana party might not be the vehicle of change that they hoped it would be. Instead of fighting the establishment, they seem to have just fought themselves, and we may have witnessed the collapse of the party before it even had a chance to pick a name. The media landscape right now is moving so fast that it's quite easy to rely on just the information you already know, or the sources you've grown to trust. But what about everything you don't see? Or what if those sources you trust aren't completely honest? Well, luckily our sponsor this week, Ground News, are experts at lifting the veil on media bias. Their website and app, developed by a former NASA engineer, collects thousands of articles from across the media landscape, putting them all into one place for you to easily compare how the news is being covered around the world. For example, this story on the Corbyn-Sultana spat has been covered by 33 sources, with 14 reported by the left and 6 from the right. We can dig even deeper by looking at the political bias, factuality, and ownership of said sources. That's not all though, as Ground News offers a bunch of super handy features. We especially like their blind spot feed, as here you can see stories that have been disproportionately covered by one side of the political spectrum or the other. For example, if you lean right, you might have missed this story about Canada and other major fossil fuel producers planning to increase their fossil fuel production despite their climate pledges. It's important to know exactly what's circulating online in different echo chambers, instead of purposely choosing to stay in the dark. We all know that the current media sphere is always trying to get your attention by any means necessary, to sway you into thinking one thing or another. So having a website that helps you spot when that's happening is a real game changer. So if you're interested in staying on top of the news and trying everything that Ground News has to offer, then you can get a 40% off the unlimited Vantage Plan subscription by using the link in the description or scanning the QR code on the screen. This limited time offer is only available here, so make sure you go to ground.news/TLDR or click the link in the description to get started and support an independent news platform working to make the media landscape more transparent.